All right, welcome back. It's Shalonda, and this is not your mama's Bible study. So again, I'm never here to tell you what it is, what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me, and we're gonna go ahead and finish off the book of Timothy. Oh, kind of rhymed, don't it? Okay, y'all. So again, I just got up. Was doing a little bit of reflecting, and yeah, I've just been going through some issues, um, a little bit of pain. You know what I'm saying? Past couple days or whatever. So it does feel like I'm healing from something, or just going through something, and we're gonna go ahead and finish this off, right? See what's going on. So 2 Timothy 2. And it says, "O Timothy, my son, be strong with the strength Christ Jesus gives you." So when we talk about the Christ Jesus energy, that Christ that is in Jesus, or in the face of, because I feel that energy of before, right? And of love, right? And so it just, like, if I ever knew a Jesus in my life, it was my grandma. It was my grandma. So, like, anybody knows her, anybody, you know what I'm saying? She was that person. She always took care of children. Matter of fact, she had like 16 of her own. So, yeah. So, yeah. You know what I noticed? When I first started this journey, and when this stuff first started happening, like, ever since my grandma passed away, I think I was like 15 or 16, I thought about her every single day. I took a time out every single day to just like look to her, just if it was just for just a moment. And I noticed that whatever this transitioning stage, or this, with this ascension, I feel like, I'm always going to have that heart, you know what I'm saying? But I think I had so many people like playing on it and pulling at it, and being new to having energy around and noticing things and speaking with different energies, and you know what I'm saying? It kind of hardened me in a sense, right? And so I don't, that's not the kind, I don't hold grudges, and I'm not hard, you know what I'm saying? Like that. So, um, hard hearted or whatever, right? I may have to come into my masculine energy in order to protect myself, especially if I feel like I don't have a masculine around that is doing so. And so you know, yeah, yeah. And so I noticed that for a while I had not been looking to her. I don't remember a day where I don't. It was a just a conscious thing. It just happened. It wasn't like I planned. Oh, this at this time. No, I thought about her. I said her name. I looked. It's like looking to her. So it's just kind of strange, okay? And I feel like, maybe because I've been chilling with my masculine, you know what I'm saying, ancestors, and my grandpa, like that, like maybe they're just in the background watching, because it's a lot of masculine energy, like this whole energy, like I feel when I'm talking about like these different lifetimes, these different ways, going through the Akashic, dealing with these energies, pulling and channeling different energies at different times with these women that have come prior to us. And their energy is usually women that were prominent, whether they were written about or not. Whether we saw their story as that or not, heroic, right? And so, um, yeah, so I'm just thinking in this time, because not only do I have what I'm dealing with, but others have gifts and energies too, and those particular people have connections to other energies that might have been connected to me in the past as well. And that's maybe why I can kind of point people out when it comes to those that are in the so-called heavens on this plane, and then the ones that are again in the earth or around. And so it's just a funny thing, right? But you have to realize that. So then you're fighting off, if you are that energy that main energy, or dealing with that energy of the Ruach, or wisdom, or the Holy Spirit. she has had many relationships in many different times, and we're dealing with the entities that are housing those energies right now, and then the energies that are attached to them as well. So that's where the whole thing with the whole third party energy comes in, and these other women and feminines and stuff like that. So again, I think some people have maybe prepared, or they may be a little bit more able to tune in to or hone in on that one thing. But I feel like in my house, in my temple, in my body, there's many mansions. And so again, I'm tapping it, like we were reading that list of gifts that were given out. Many of those things I feel like I have to discern, to tell if something's a lie. So I'm just like everywhere, including trying to survive and trying to hold it together. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to your normal life, because people don't seem to understand, and they don't seem to stick around. And so, I'm just here to be on my purpose. I want to be positive. I want to be a guiding light to people. I don't want to be hurting, and it's not like I tuck things away into certain places, right? Because I have to I have other stuff, but it's like, that Love Is the Icon song just went through my mind. Like, I'm looking for that, but like I already found it, but I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the sense of something is like, I don't understand why everything is hiding from me. It's just like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, And then when I'm in that complex of that so-called God complex, where I feel like the Father or whatever energy is dwelling in me, is that why? Is it being protective of me because it sees what the world is doing behind my back? And so that means that other masculine energies can't approach me in the 3D. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that what it is? Like, I don't know. I just want to be, like I said, that vassal, right? So, yeah. So it says, for you must teach. That's what I was going to say. So you're dealing with a lot of also energy from those people that may not be happy about things that happened in those lives, or they may be holding grudges or throwing, shade or whatever. And so it's just weird, especially when this is a so-called man's world now. People take things, So, yeah. For you must teach others those things you and many others have heard me speak about. Teach these great truths to trustworthy men, who will in turn pass them on to others. Take your share of suffering as a good soldier of Christ should. Of Jesus Christ. So now it's switching to a soldier of Jesus Christ. So when you talk about soldier, Jesus Christ, that makes me think of angels. Angels are soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And it also, yeah. It's that tough. This is just what we just talking about. It's that tough, that scarring thing. It's like dealing with scars, and putting on that breastplate, right? That armor, right? Being strong, right? Definitely. So the Christ Jesus energy is about that love and that heart energy, and Jesus Christ is about that tactical mentality, that, you know what I'm saying, getting shit done, basically, I feel, okay? And it says, just as I do, okay? So, yeah. So again, that's probably why I just don't really care what people say. It rubs off. People think that you're being egotistical, or you're being cold or whatever, when you really are just really persuasive, accurate. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of energy, right? But I feel like the thing is the movement. Like, I was just thinking today, all the stuff that I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying? I do settle more on the spiritual side. So I think that is around me, that is unseen, is very powerful right now in my life. But it's just like, sometimes I want to be like other people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to see how we get the perception of like a court or something, right? A royal court, or, just like Yeshua or Jesus and the disciples, right? See, I'm wondering why Christ didn't have disciples, right? Why Christ didn't have the support behind her, or that energy. You see what I'm saying? At least Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Some people probably had many more, but, at least Jesus had the 12 disciples, you know what I'm saying? So I think in the spiritual realm, yes, but I think people are expecting something from me from the physical, but they're not being direct, and there's no on this level in the 3D, right? In this worldly realm, there's no connection. People are talking around or talking in the air. Like I'm just supposed to be like this, you know what I mean? I know I could be in the magician energy, but damn. You know what I'm saying? And so again, not to have that team behind you or whatever. And even if you do have a team, it's sitting with someone else. It almost feels like they're sitting with the idol instead of sitting with me or walking with me, not sitting, right? Because I do a lot of sitting. But I want to be walking shit. And it's just like, again, nobody, you know what I'm saying? It's anytime I try to reach my hand now to join with anybody in this realm, they don't want nothing to do with it. I don't know if it's my light. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. I don't know if it's because people want to continue trying to be me or something. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not even trying to come off that way. I'm just saying they'd rather come in, peer in, take notes and leave, and then act and take it on as if it's theirs, because I see many people with the information. I can be doing a video and then later on go off and then start going through my feed, and I can see, it's almost like that energy of my sheep hear my voice, right? So I can see people, whatever, but again, it feels like they want to give credit to everybody else but me. It's almost like it's a forbidden, and that's okay if that's to protect me or protect the energy. Like I always said, it's not about me. It's about the message and the message getting out to many. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So it just makes me just lean to source even more and just trust and have faith that he got something for me regardless. Because it's like I said, it's never been about me only, right? I'm just the one that's that guiding something for some, just like some other people are, okay? So anyways, let's keep moving. So it said, and as Christ's soldiers, do not let yourself become tied up with worldly affairs. True enough. True enough. So again, that makes me think about, like, you know, people try to compare how they contribute to society and everything like that. And I say, until the records are set straight, until people are put in proper positions, until people are protected in those positions and provided the tools and the necessary funding that they need in order to get those things done. I have the mind already. See, but I feel like that's not the case. I feel like people want me to spill out, sit here and just freely spill out, you know, everything that I could be using for me if I was going to be, like, could you imagine, right? Into the world with nothing in return, okay? And that's the thing. And also at that time, it feels like people are taking and stealing and while I'm doing this service to the people are taking advantage of me and whatever would be mine. You see what I'm saying? That's just what it feels like. So it's very, you know what I'm saying, to juggle this is very, you know, but again, I don't complain. I'm just speaking. Because, and the thing is too, when you're in this energy to speak out about this, you already have people that are trying to defame you or, you know, assassinate your character or make you look as though you are strange or you don't know what you're talking about or you're crazy. Ooh, okay. And since most of the world will not understand someone like me, it's hard for me to share my story fully and completely without going that way, because I don't want to give... The hell? Oh, okay. Because I don't want to give... Excuse me. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, this is too much going on. All right. Okay. Do not let yourself become tied up in worldly affairs, for then you cannot satisfy the one who has enlisted you in his army. Okay? Okay. So this made me think of the... Ooh. Okay. Follow the Lord's rules for doing his work. Just as an athlete just like an athlete either follow the rules or is disqualified and wins no prize, right? So, and that's what I feel like. I feel like sometimes, you know, like I have to do and then realize, it's kind of like a spiritual thing. You do something and then you get, like I told you guys, sometimes I would take down a video or whatever because I feel like maybe I went too far or something. You see what I'm saying? Like it would have to have something to do with my spiritual connection, how I feel about it while it's sitting there, or the response I feel, whether people comment or not, I can feel, right? And so, it's kind of like that. There's no rule book, but then again, we do have the commandments, but the way the commandments are listed throughout the text in different portions of the important commandments and commands and things that have been listed, it's hard to kind of grasp them and pull them all together and see, because I do see them in certain spots, but then certain of them, it feels like it's hard to find. It's kind of tricky because we have the commandments and we have other types of, things. And so again, when it comes to, so I'm hearing even making thought about like energy from media, right? About laws and stuff like that. And again, I speak a lot about these things. And so, when I'm saying that, I'm saying what it means. So what it means when something's saying as a lie, for me, I'm looking for the truth, or I'm looking to dismantle it, right? So again, when we're talking about that energy of laws, I have never in my life broken a law. I don't do drugs. I don't drink heavy. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't, when it comes to even so-called man's law, right? Because people want to make a big deal as if I'm saying we shouldn't have laws. It's not what I'm saying. I think they should be simplified, like this big bill or whatever that they're talking about that's about to be passed, with all of this stuff piled up in it. The American people didn't have no chance to review these things or read through them. Even if you do, they're speaking in a different language, almost legalese or whatever this is, so you won't even understand what they're really talking about. And so we're just agreeing to things that may be putting women and children and people in general in danger, you know what I'm saying, or under more of we're giving up more of our particular rights that you will not possibly get back. Okay. And so again, that's very important for us to realize that nobody should be passing anything. There should be more understanding and more of a breakdown. They should hire somebody to do a channel to break down these laws and read them to the fucking people before we go ahead and just, it's just things like this that I don't understand. And then you want to nitpick about little small things that people do as a sin, when again, is lying one too? Because that's what you're almost doing, is lying without lying. To put this stuff in here knowing that you have a certain agenda and you know that people are lacking knowledge. And so again, that is not right. So that's what I'm saying about really going in and it's been hundreds of years. We got hundreds and thousands and billions of acts and laws and bills and all this. Nobody really even knows what none of it really means. You wouldn't even know. Nobody takes the time to do any of it. So we cannot keep just blaming the people in the elevated status, and they can't keep blaming us. There's something wrong. There's something going on in between. There's something going on in between. And it's systematically done that way. And it's done that way, okay, for some reason. All right? That's all we do here, okay, is try to get an understanding. Nobody trying to act like they got all the information and everything like that. We're walking together. I walk with people. That's why I don't like followers. I walk with people, right? And so let's just keep going, okay? So again, nobody's saying that when I'm talking about the education system, we all can agree, period, especially in America, because we are kind of like the nation that's suffering the most in that area. So it must be something. We have to look at ourselves sometimes. We're so worried about everything else and other worldly affairs. That's what I'm saying. Nobody is really, we speak a good game, see? We speak peace, 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 but there's war on our grounds. There's something terrible going on here, right? So again, we speak this, or we speak Save America, when they're using their power and their energy to do the exact different thing. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And to attack the people that are sharing this information and call them things like deal with mental illness, or conspiracy theorists, or even whistleblowers and everything, using these terms to describe intelligent people that are dedicating their time and serving people to get them to understand what's going on in their land so that they will be able to serve and protect. That's what people do. How many things do they have when it comes to the police officers and their codes and stuff like that? How many police officers can actually accurately read the code and actually know exactly what they mean? Come on, we got to do better. So again, in that case, then we must do something to narrow these things down so that we all are on one accord. That's the first thing. That is the first thing. And that's why I like the energy of the 10 Commandments. Let's start there. you know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying wipe away everything, but let's start there because there's something going on here. Let's start with the Constitution, okay? Let's start with these things and get to know them a little bit better. You know, let's reanalyze a couple things, look at these things again. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because people have to in order to unite a nation, you have to be on the same page. But the reason why this nation cannot be united is because we always seem to we've never really been in any suffering, any real, wars in a very long time on the ground that are like a real war where you're seeing bombs and stuff like this. But again, we've always been a spiritual warfare in this holy land the whole time. It has never stopped. You look at the list of wars with the Indians in the U.S., it really has never stopped, but for a couple of years. Okay, so again, we have to know, and if we are dealing with domestic terrorists on our land that are terrorizing us, and then when we speak up about it and fight back about it, they want to call us the terrorists, the domestic terrorists, then that's a problem. All right. All right. So again, and if somebody's a player, what are the rules? It's purposely. It's like on purpose that somebody is withholding the rules and not allowing certain people to be at the table. That's just what I feel. Okay? You know how they say that somebody like to see you squirm? But again, we're using everything that's in the core. I'm using everything that's in the core of me in order to, make this connection. I'm showing God. I think God is showing off. Source is showing off through some of us. That's what's going on. And so people are very sure in who you are. That's why you're targeted and you're surveilled, right? But, okay. All right. But again, it's at the point now where, again, these people is not going to like you. Those people, the higher ups don't want to deal with you. The people in your community don't want to deal with you because you're too real, too raw, too uncut, and too true. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else wants your light, or everybody else want to, act as though they came up with the information and run off with it and things like this. And so it's what it is. That's where the calamities are going to come in, because you can never recreate the thing that is. You can be you and I can be me. And although you may try to fashion it with nails and hammer it and do it this way and do it that way and try to have it 2 steps ahead of me, it's just not going to be, because there's only one. Just like there's only one of you, and you do what you do very amazingly. And so that's what I'm saying. All right? All right? So just as an athlete, okay, the rules, okay, or to be disqualified. So again, that's what I'm saying, the stumbling blocks, okay? It made me think about the whole energy teaching Christ crucified as a stumbling block. That even makes me think now, as I'm thinking about that, because we just said, when is Christ used just only Christ? And it is just use Christ in that instance. So again, Christ crucified a stumbling block for the Jews. So to crucify your Christ in 2021, what are they going to do? They're going to bring that Christ into your platforms. They're going to smear it. They're going to share the dirty little secrets. They're going to expose or do whatever, right? They're going to try to degrade, defile that energy, right? Especially if it was leading the people at one point in time, right? Okay. So again, if they see the most powerful one, and I mean just because I'm having many different mansions and many different doors. No other reason, because there's only going to be that one holy one, or that, there's Israel, the holy one, and, there's different ways of looking at it, right? But I'm just saying, that's just what it is. And it's more, we're talking about energy in that way, that in the flow of it, the currency, because it was flowing just fine at first. And then again, they had to put a stumbling block in front of me, to then expose me and put a stumbling block in front of you in order to, again, assassinate it. And so now, what? So now I feel like even at that level, when I wasn't even aware that it was going on behind my back, then what? It gets seeped out into, now the higher ups want to know what it is. Because they may have been looking at this energy okay at first, right? Right? So again, now that information gets out, and then they have something to use to try to. So again, everybody made it okay to be like this about your Christ. And so again, now they can be making your Christ a laughing stock. And so now you just crucified, or you just killed your one true Christ energy. I mean, it just is the way it is. But you can't kill me. You can't. This won't die. This energy won't die. Okay. So again, every time they hit me or they throw one of them blocks or they shoot me one of them darts, I pull it out, you know what I'm saying, lick my wounds and get right back up. And it's just like, if the things would stop, then, you know, we could just go on. Then I can maybe focus on what we can be doing. But if I have to fight all the time, then what are you going to do? It's just like any other thing. I mean, it's just like any other thing to me. Okay? So again, and plus, you never got the rule book. You see? Right? All right, because this is following the Lord's rules. Now, what is the Lord? The Lord is the landlord. The master, the overseer, the landlord, or whatever. That you're probably giving the vows to, right? Okay? Or the votes, right? The one you voted for, that you give the vows to. But again, they deal with that on the surface and that which is within, right? But again, we have to wonder why we're not unifying. Is the heart there? Are they pure at heart? Are they doing it because of that reason? Or are they doing it for some kind of financial gain, some kind of gain for some land, some kind of gain for something? Because in the end, they'll end up gaining yours too, and you will be left with nothing. Gaining your soul. What the hell is it? You see what I'm saying? Okay? So again. All right. All right. So again, work hard like a farmer who gets paid well. So to say work hard like a farmer, might I add, who gets paid. So work like you getting paid. And I guess, okay, all right, that's what I do. Because I'm not going to water down my stuff because I'm not getting paid. I put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of information on here and they never ask y'all for a dime. I might, you know, never. I might promote, like, again, one of my things on one of my platforms for my businesses or whatever. But again, right? Okay, so it says, well, if he raises a large crop, okay? Think over these three in illustrations. And may the Lord help you to understand how they apply to you, right? Because it's just like that whole energy right here. Like, I don't know why I was just thinking like that kind of energy of I don't want to die for someone to miss me. But again, you know what I'm saying? It won't even be a legacy for me because it's been broken up and passed on to other people and I've been thrown under the rug. And so, you know what I'm saying? And that energy is just like, what? You know what I'm saying? I want my children, if everything else is going to be taken from them by somebody, I want them to at least know. I want them to have something to look to. Like my mom, hey, she was one of the people right here, and this was what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? So they can at least have that to build on when they leave. If everybody's going to take every damn thing else, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. It's crazy, right? So again, it's almost like, oh, we're going to set everybody else up, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, undetected, like in the whole time, and I've been done the worst, I feel, out of all the so-called children of God. You know what I'm saying? It just, you know what I'm saying? So they might look at me as I'm just like the one that's spoiled or something, but in the sense, I look at them as if like, damn, no, y'all getting it. You know, I'm you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But the whole thing is about uniting and being able to use each of our gifts together. You see, to build a more perfect union. That is it. Because some people can't see like I see, and I can't see some things like you see. So this is why I look to other people. It's strange that we don't get that one little thing. But people will try to like keep the light in a jar and just go open up the thing and get a little bit of it, you know what I'm saying, and pass it on instead of letting the light be a part of it, or the cornerstone or capstone, or again, that. It just is. Don't ever forget the wonderful act that Jesus Christ, so now we're saying Jesus Christ. We're going back to the masculine energy of Jesus, I feel, was a man. Oh, see? And again, yeah. And see, and that's the thing. When you're a woman in this stance, it ain't nothing I want more than a real man that is able to show me in real life that I am okay and I am free to do what he wants me to do, how he wants me to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a problem. Matter of fact, it's something that is very nice feeling to me. I don't want to be in this. I don't want to be in a defensive energy. I don't want to be like that. But again, and so I think this whole thing that we're doing here, sharing this story, is to better get an understanding of that energy. And I want to be in that same energy for that masculine. You know, so it's just like that. It's just like that. So even in the energy now, I see why Source kind of is coming in and wanted to move things around in my life, because again, with the way I see now, many people are walking away. That leaves you open. That leaves people to want to say, oh, this person has changed. You know what I'm saying? And if you're with somebody that wants to have control over you, right? Because you may not be, like for me, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whatever. More so an at-home mom, but running small businesses on the side or whatever. And whatever, while my children were growing up. And it's just like, you don't notice how defenseless you are if things change, you know what I'm saying, until it happens. And then you stuck in a hard place. And it's just like, people can take advantage of that. And your children can be taken advantage of and things like that. So again, for somebody like me, I need to know that I'm good, stable. This is what's going on right here, so that I can be able to move accurately. And so again, people may look at it as though that I'm just, look at this card here. I'll just take the first two, because it was coming up the other day, but I didn't pick it up, right? But I'm telling you to just be sitting there. See, come together, right? This pelican, I think, has something to do with, I don't know if it was the coat of arms or something with George Washington. I thought it was interesting watching some of those birds, those land and water birds, when it came to symbolize some of those, some of the, what they call founding fathers, right? Okay, slow and steady. Okay. Which again, I guess it could be because again, they would have been mixing with the mothers of the earth, the soil, right? I just feel like people really want to put me in that mammy complex because again, I'm not a scholarly. I didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. So, I stayed home with children. So you really don't know much. You need to be able to have this to navigate. But again, I feel like I got all the tools. I maybe didn't have them at first. I maybe didn't have that security at first, but I have that now. So again, but I think it's the way to show that, to also build up in that idle energy, someone that has all those traits that society accepts as being, especially the way I talk about the education system, at those things as being legit or being, there's another word I want to use, successful, right? Or intelligent. Like those things mean intelligent. And really to me, it means that you have a very small-minded way of thinking sometimes with people. They don't want to think outside of the box, and so they're not tapping into that deeper something that is with them and them. That really is that thing that man and scientists probably can't even figure out, really, some of us right now, to be honest with you. Okay? And it's just like that doesn't equal intelligence. It doesn't. That kind of scholarly education, a lot of those people are starting to have to pick apart everything that they have done and taught and told you over time because of the information and because of the things that are going on with some of us. Is how I feel. That natural organic thing, right? So again, like I said, that is one of the root problems of a lot of different things when it comes to certain industries and certain corporations and certain ways of us seeing things now, is that smoke and mirrors kind of illusion kind of energy, of what society would say would be right, okay? Or what's politically correct. Sometimes that's just actually, you're not dealing with the real problems, you're dealing with the surface. You can fund, I was watching somebody talk about something that has to do with funding, how much money they put into urban areas and stuff like this. Well, then it's not about the money then, is it? It is about the people that you're bringing in. So we have the right to question, who are these people? What is their pedigree? Why does it seem like all of these people that look like us, we can't complain that we're not being represented by, if you want to look at skin color. You see what I'm saying? It's not, we can't say that we're not being represented on all levels at this time. But are those people at heart? Because we know when other people from other countries come to America, especially when they are darker view people from anywhere else, they still look down at American so-called blacks. They don't integrate with you. They go off and they do things, and they go off and do them with other people. They don't do them within our community. They don't come back into, they're not benefiting our community. They're benefiting the other people's. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to look at it. We have to go to the root of it to find out what is the disconnect. Because we cannot say if you're just looking at skin color, we're not saying we can't say that we're not being represented. But then you must maybe vet the people or bring in people that are in that community and allow them to do the things and give them the tools, resources, and things necessary to do that within the community. Again, also integrating programs that into things like welfare that will actually put someone off well. Maybe you're on it for this amount of time, and then we're going to set you up with these classes that's going to teach you how to do this, so then you can go on and do that. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just a simple. It's just a simple one. How about like one, within a county or a city? How about we just have one liquor store and maybe just one or two? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just looking at the communities, and it's just like infested with churches. This is the problem. You have churches, you have your liquor stores, you have your chicken shacks, and you have your, and you have your McDonald's and stuff. None of that usually is run by people that look like you. And forget look like you, that are you, that came from that community. I remember, what did we have? We had Toby's. We had Toby's. You can go buy the penny candy. Oh. Oh. So people try to act like just because, you know what I'm saying, I have nothing but joy. When I go back to our days in those, in the projects, in the hood, in whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? It was the happiest time of my life. But I'm just saying, it could have been, if we had more role models and things, and we had more things in our communities, it could have been much better. Okay? So again, that's all I'm saying. Because we can keep on just giving to charity, but where's the money really going? Who is it really benefiting? Who is it really helping? Are the people that are in this thing doing it properly? Is it going to just enable people, or is it going to uplift people? Enable them, and then in order for them to be uplifted mentally. See? It's a thing, right? So we can trap the children in the school with masks on, in the seats for 8 hours a day, and keep on teaching them these same things that have actually really what the word education means. It leads out that something, that magic that's in us, and it indoctrinates you. It trains you to see something one way. And this is why we can't get along now, because whatever we're seeing is not matching what we thought it meant. And when we go in here and find out that it really didn't mean that in the first place, then you see that you just were taught wrong. You're really illiterate as a people. You don't see, you don't know. Okay? And so, again, I don't even know. We're probably even getting off subject. All right? So think over these 3 illustrations, and may the Lord help you to understand how they apply to you. Don't ever forget the wonderful fact that Jesus Christ was a man, okay, born into King David's family. Okay, so again, that does give me the energy of a divine counterpart that I sense, right? Okay? Right? But I felt like also there was always a genuine sense of love, but also like a competition kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just, that's just all how I felt. But again, King David also, born into. So again, is, what does that mean? So I'm even thinking about like the whole energy when it comes to the energy, probably even when it comes to the pit's energy, right? Because one part of that family was lifted up and one part was put down in the pit. Why? Because we were dealing with the kings, we were dealing with the queens, we were dealing with the emperors and the empresses, and that were dethroned. And then I think it comes in, that's where some of the Irish bloodline comes in from. But many of those people got patents and things like that, right? So then what happened? Because my grandfather did own land at some point in time. But then again, I noticed that at one point in time, it was it was the McLaughlin name, I think, at one point. And then that was the head. And then at some point in time, I think it was it David? Because we had David, Joseph. These names are on that side of the family heavy. Paul, Uncle Joseph, David, Paul, James. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out which grandfather that. Well, I guess it really don't matter, but I don't know. It's just making me think heavily about this energy, and this would be again that energy of that holy energy would be that grandmother that I'm telling you about. That would be her family. Born into King David's family, and that he was God. Oh my goodness, I was just thinking this. Hold on. Y'all. Now I'm seeing. A spark just hit about a possible connection, even if it's by, you know what I'm saying? Because begotten doesn't mean that it actually, was by blood, right? Begotten can also be where it was like somebody was kidnapped or adopted or grafted in or, inhabitant or. So I'm seeing, I just saw some zigzag between the two energies. But let's see. Because it says Christ was, Jesus Christ was a man born into King David's family, and that he was God. So it even made me think about the book here, The Spring, that he took Elijah in. I feel like, was it Elijah in as the son? That Black Hawk took him in, I believe. Okay. All right. As shown by the fact that he rose again from the dead. Okay, so again, this is another rising. See, and that's what I'm saying. This is where it gets strange. This is where it gets strange. Yeah, because this is where it gets strange. Okay. It is because I have preached these great truths that I am in trouble here and have been put in jail like a criminal. So this is making me think of, again, I see. Okay, I see you. Okay, y'all. Okay. So even this whole part about the gifts, okay. So again, as somebody shutting off, is the dome, the iron, something to create a blockage, or is something creating a blockage? Like I told you guys about a severance or a disconnection with energy, right? Okay. So, all right, because in the book, it was saying that he was going to have to go to jail for something, right? But he was trying to protect Esther in the book. And he was trying to keep her out of... Well, actually, I think Elijah came to Esther in the book and said, you got to start talking, like doing this, because they about to lock us both up, right? So again, they couldn't handle the gift. And she was actually gifted, right? She was a scryer, a crystal viewer, and she had these gifts, right? But the people that were in the medical field, right, that have lived their lives teaching certain things about the mind, even though they will admit they don't know most about the mind, right? So again, then they want to get in and try to cause this issue, and then this is where we lead to a multitude of women being led into these facilities and your children being in the past, but you could discern as you may and as you please. You see what I'm saying? Because again, you have to, now I have to be able to, we have to do it this way. Okay? All right. You see what I'm saying? Just go back. All right? So again, dealing with that Afghan energy, Taliban so-called energy, women mask, can't teach, little girl brides. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Behind borders, family of 7. It's always something symbolically, duality, reading between these lines and headlines. So then is this a free-for-all? Because someone said something that I'm going to get into today. When it comes to, some guy said there's going to be a something put on your daughters and that they will be able to be drafted. That makes me question things. We'll just talk about the sweet potato pie energy. Anybody that's from the 90s or something, you know what I'm talking about. Now it's just right up in your damn face. All right? Okay. All right. So, okay, he preached those truths, okay, that they're in trouble and they want to put him in jail like a criminal, okay? So again, we could look in society and we could see this crucifixion happen over time with many people that were in that light. And there's no, we've sometimes you wanted to, help. Sometimes people thought it was funny. Some people didn't realize what was going on, but now since we do, and now that we can look back at their energy and what they were saying and what we're saying, then you should be able to see who those people are, who the ones that are actually possibly holy, right? That may be in the situation because they have to deal a little bit closer with some of these vultures. And when we talk about women and we're talking about this whole divine masculine and feminine energy, if you don't want to, and that's why I'm saying about putting that pressure, I guess, on the masculine energy, because they are the ones that they have to go into the fire. But if something happens to them, then something happens to you. Even when it comes to chiefs or chieftains or chieftesses as well. So you would have to know what kind of things they're being involved with in the background, because you need to know what it is. All right? Are you just going to be piled up and scooped up? Or is this something? So this is the reason why I said I had to say what I had to say. But the word of God, because this is investment, crops, produce, animals, beings. Same thing. Bringing others in, but getting rid of the how you going to take the soil out of the land and try to replace it? That's building a foundation or an establishment that is foreign. This is what it is. All right? There's nothing to fear here. We just need to be able to do it properly. We need to get moving. We need to get moving. We must be heard. It just is no other thing about it. It's just no other thing about it, okay? So, all right. But the word of God, okay, the word of God, which reminds me of another energy, exactly, is probably even what we're dealing with here, being able to interpret that here. It's not chained like this, makes me think about the name on the thigh, actually. It's not chained, okay? So again, unchained. Why do we pick the names that we? This is tripping me out here. Even though I am, and that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I just said about the masculine energy. It's almost like a demigod energy. That's why we can kind of communicate with them, or a God energy. And again, we have to remember that. Again, we are saying, why won't they? But again, we have to see what it is, right? because we need each other regardless. All of us need the whole land. Us all we need. It's going to be a United Nations up in this motherfucker. We need each other right here, right now. Don't matter about what your status is. It don't matter. What is your heart saying? What does it say down in your soul? If you're dealing with the soul. If you're not, what does your heart say? What is that feeling of something behind you that feels like something? The voice of God. What does it do? Does it move you? And that's the thing that I'm saying. You have to be able to operate. But see, and now I'm just saying, I guess it's just coming into view here. Like, that's why I stopped tripping about why somebody ain't saying something. Because you know why? Because, you see? But we need them because they got the tools, just like we got these tools. And so, again, I digress. We need to be able to observe this. We need to be able to see what it is. And we need to be able to, you see? Okay. Because it's really about the mind. That's the thing that was chained. The brain was chained in the first place. Before the book. Before all that, before religion, whatever, they got into here. Even though I am. And you see that I am? You see that there? It just makes me think about the I am, and it's making me think about the I and the dollar bill and all the things. Okay, and again, but then there's another I. In the soil. Okay. Or I. Making me think about the tarot with the king, the emperor, and a couple other tarot decks. When you look real closely, they have those eyes all over them. Oh, what is it? Also, is it the Ezekiel's wheel? The eye. The eyes all over. Even that peacock energy. Eyes all over. You know, it's giving me that Argus kind of energy as well. In media. Or Medea or media. All right. Okay. I am more than willing to suffer if that will bring salvation and eternal glory in Christ. So again, this is someone that's willing to suffer for Christ. Maybe why I'm seeing red. Blood. In Christ Jesus, in love, actually. To those God has chosen. Okay. I am comfortable by this truth. That when we suffer and die for Christ, it only means that we will begin living with him in heaven. See, that makes me think about a dwelling place also, you know. Or it can be physical. I don't know. It could be in another dimension. It could be whatever. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, because this was a question that we were just asking last night. So I am comforted by this truth, and that when we suffer and die for Christ, it only means that we will begin living with him in heaven. So patience. And if we think that our present service for him is hard, just remember that someday we are going to sit with him and rule with him. But if we give up, when we suffer and turn against Christ, all right, then he or she or they must turn against us. Even when we are too weak to have any faith left, he remains faithful to us and will help us. So again, this is the other energy. So now I'm thinking the world card with the two wands, and I'm thinking second stick energy, and I'm also seeing that energy of the two candlesticks. Mm. And it's just like everybody's different. Everything is different. So no matter what, I see that. I remember that. I remember that. It's giving me the Father, Son, Holy Spirit energy. A new earth. Feels like somebody's trying to change it or alter it or emasculate the energy, or seem like the feminine is trying to emasculate the masculine, and the masculine is playing the you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to that one holy trinity, and sister against sister, or brother against sister, and brother against brother. I don't know. It just made me think about that energy. Mm-hmm. Even when we are too weak to have any faith left, he remains faithful to us and will help us. So again, that's that energy again that is there all the time, I feel. For he cannot disown us who are a part of himself. And he will always carry out his promises to us. So again, that also reminds me of the energy, like I said, I just have to say it, symbolically, when it comes to the caste system, not the one of the Pharaoh, because the one of the Pharaoh, remember, of ancient Egypt, they included everybody in the body, in the triangle, right? Everybody was in it. But when it comes to the Hindu energy, or the of India, it cut the bottom part off. And what I'm saying is open up that border when it comes to the so-called African American or black people, because it just seems as though they're not supposed to be there. So even when we're talking about us, and we the people, does it include those people in too? Because if not, then what are we really talking about? So then I'm going back into that energy of Moses to let the people go. And is this what we're talking about right now or not? Because that's what it is. And I think I heard somebody talking about a storyline about the people, they kept going back and forth and everything like this. This reminded me of the infrastructure bill, right? And he was saying about the wars or whatever, the Seminole Wars. And I think that Moses was a Seminole Indian, I believe, that I was trying to remember the other day. It had something to do with that area. And so, again, going back and forth with that. And it was almost a deal, but then again we go into that Esther energy of the storyline that we've been following Esther in all the videos of her saying, wait a minute, something is going on with these Jews. Somebody want to kill. And again, kill don't necessarily mean, with blood. That don't necessarily mean that they murdered all these people. So I mean, that's another perception that you have to keep you in that mental state of so-called slavery or fear. Okay? Egypt, fear. Right? Well, it means slavery, but I'm just saying fear. Okay? And so, again, when we're talking about the people that were left behind the borders, and it's hundreds of thousands probably, then are those dead in law? So now their items are what? Confiscated by those who have already been accumulating things. Professionals at it. Right? Possibly backed by other nations. Is all I'm saying. So what does that mean to the American Indian or indigenous people? Period. Because I don't care how you look at it, I'm for all people. I don't give a damn what color you are. Right is right and wrong is wrong. After we figure out what we need to do, then we can talk about the necessary things. But to bring order to the court, we have to admit that these so-called black people was already here from America. That it was very few that actually came from Africa. And that story was told in reverse, actually. So when we set the record straight and set those people free, then we can start rebuilding those so-called boundaries. we will begin living with, him in heaven. Okay. All right. So again, that death also, like I said, could just mean that some people are going to be having to go off into the heavens, wherever you might want to see, whether it's a spiritual, physical, or whatever. Alien form, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere, I don't know. Okay? And if we think that our present service for him is hard, so it's kind of like even just, coming out of it, so that you don't be partakers of her sins. Okay. All right. Grassroots almost. See, I be feeling like I'm late to the party. All right. Just remember that someday we are going to sit with him and rule with him. But, excuse me, goodness. Okay. So again, or her, right? Or Christ or whatever. Okay. And turn against, when we suffer and turn against Christ, then he must turn against us. So again, that's probably that complex of people in a community ousting out certain individuals as if there are bootlickers, we got so many different words when we just need to see it for what it is and what it ain't. You got to look at the person. You got to look at that. We got to learn how to look at each other like that. And if you can't look at yourself in the mirror, and if you ain't right within, you can't be the judge of nobody else. You're going to be wrong every single time. You're going to allow other people to tell you what to think about somebody every time. I don't do that. This is why, again, when they say that Jesus' energy, that he was hanging out with all these different people, because it must be he knew their heart. He knew why they had to do what the hell they had to do. Yeah, that's just how I look at it. Okay? Because we already know that regardless of when you go to the so-called hood and the projects, you're going to meet some of the coolest people ever that always got people around them. They always, you know what I'm saying? So, again, we know that that's what the case is. The most true, cool, real, just pure-hearted people. Okay? It's the circumstances, it's the things, it's the systematic things and the things that people refuse to pay attention to help to heal themselves and others to help put a helping hand towards doing it. Because again, somebody will sit there and let you suffer. They know they can give you one little crumb or one little help to help you go further, but they'll decide to sit there and watch you drown. So if you're dealing with that kind of energy, then it is what it is. And I'm saying people that you might help out. It may not be in the way that they help you out, but again, you help them out in some kind of way. And that's what I'm saying. So when we're dealing with people that a garden full of those type of people, then we're dealing with something else. We got people that would sell weed but wouldn't sell nothing else, right? But my whole thing, when I was always looking at dealers and stuff like that, it's like, okay, all right, so you're doing this or whatever. I understand that you maybe don't have nothing else. People use it or whatever. It's harmful and everything, whatever. But at the same time, once you get this, do you know you could take that and turn it into this? What? You could take that and turn it into, like right now, it's so many things that people are doing. T-shirt business, whatever it is. I'm at a point where I can't wait to see what's going to be happening soon or in the future, because I have many ideas, but it's like, it's so many restrictions and mental. And then again, I think Source is just using me right now for this. Source is just using me. There's not that many people that are doing this. So this is what I have to do. Okay? All right? So when I say that, I'm saying, but if somebody does have to do that, how about, again, instead of a business plan, you know what I'm saying? You could just be like, hey, I got this. Damn, I can go ahead and invest in that. Let me open up this. So that's the thing when it's our part, when we could, not to look down on people when they have to do what they have to do and hold that against them, right? But if you looking to also, if you talking about you doing this and that for the community, then take what you got when you get enough and do something with it. And then turn that into more. And then it's also showing something to the children in the community that you can do this. It is just something that we have to do. We have to meet ourselves. They say, oh, God got this, God got this. That gave people an exit route to also not have to do something like for yourself, whether it's spiritual, financial, mentally, whatever it is, because you have to. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. That's why I say you ain't no savior but you, because you the one that got to look in the mirror and realize it's a problem, assess the problem from all around, go ahead and try to figure out where you fit in, and then do your part, right? And so if everybody do this, then see, and that's about like pulling your resources. And if you like this, instead of fighting against this dude and this dude, y'all could buy a damn mall. Look at what's going on in a lot of these places. People ain't, you could do something. I'm not saying what you should do. I'm just saying this is how I used to look at it then. I don't know what people invest in now, right? You might have to, invest in something else at this point, right? It may be the other stuff that's going on or whatever that people might be investing in. But I'm just saying, invest in, use this. Now it's Unchained. You could do anything. Ain't nobody here holding no damn body back. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? And most of the jobs you don't even want. If you talking about somebody don't want to have you because of your skin color, now's the time. Now is the time. It is to realize just that part even. That we are free to a certain extent. It's just making sure that, right, we need to be in control of our own. Right, okay. So that's how I kind of look at it. All right. And that brings the community together. That brings your sons and daughters together. That gives them purpose and gets them off the street. That you see what I'm saying? And even there could be some competition between damn cleaners or something, instead of what street corner you're gonna sit on that somebody else owns anyway. And they can call the police and they can on you and frisk you and throw you in the. You see what I'm saying? It's just. So yeah. I don't know. In a sense, it just makes me think about mob mentality almost. But I digress. I digress. Sometimes I just need a filter. Just remember that someday we're going to do this. Okay, whatever. All right. So again, all right, remains faithful, does whatever. Okay, remind your people of the great facts, and let's hurry up and finish this up. It's taking a long time here. Command them in the name of the Lord not to argue over unimportant things. Okay, true enough. Such arguments are confusing and useless, okay, and even harmful. Work hard so God can say to you, well done. Be a good workman. One who does not need to be ashamed when God examines your work. Know that his word says and means steer clear of foolish discussion, which lead people into the sin of anger with each other. Because, people at a boiling point now, they just like, oh my goodness, it's everything. Yeah, okay, so I see it. All right. All right, so, things will be, but things got to be discussed, but I'm just still saying, okay, so things will be said that will burn and hurt for a long time to come. Hymenaeus, and Philetus, in their love of argument, are men like that. They have left the path of truth, preaching the lie that the resurrection of the dead has already occurred. Okay? And they have weakened the faith of some who believe in them. Okay? So I don't know who Hymenaeus and Philetus, whatever. Okay? I can see who's in that energy. Sometimes when I look at other divine femmes, actually. And they may look at me like that. So you see what I'm saying? It's just, again, up for people to discern. Okay? Right? So again, I know that I'm look at all of us are being as a part of raising up the people into a certain form of knowledge. Right? And then we're talking about this caste, class, and, the Moorish issue and everything, or stuff or whatever like that. But like I said, when I said if people came out of darkness or the underworld or the Sheol, right, or the Dalit energy into the commoner peasants and servants or into that, right? What has that done for the majority? That may have supposedly looked like it freed some people, or did it? You see what I'm saying, right? Because then to come out of her, should people have just stayed? I don't know. And so it's just making me look at that like that. All right. So, okay. All right. Okay. So they have left the path of truth, teaching lies. That the resurrection of the dead has already occurred, and that they have weakened the faith of some who believe in them. But God's truth stands firm like a rock, and nothing can shake it. So again, the truth. See, God's truth. It just made me think about Oracle, even, okay? It's giving me that energy, standing firm. You can't guilt me, you can't gift me, you can't buy me, you can't, no. It's got to be true love. And when we're dealing with true energy, true-hearted energy, really doing right, righteous energy, there's nothing else left. It's just going to be natural. So this trickery, we'll put this in and we'll that. No, it just got to be the truth. Nothing can shake it. It is a foundation stone. This is making me think about the stone that we talked about with George Washington, actually. I think it's a cornerstone that's built into the building. I can't remember which building it is, but we did a video on it a while back. That these words written on it, the Lord knows those who are really his, and a person who calls himself a Christian should not be doing things that are wrong. Okay, so again, it didn't say you can't, but it said you shouldn't. I'm just saying, because the reason why I always clarify stuff like that is because I think that people want you to think that you can't do right never. Like, if you really want to be a so-called Christian, which again, I don't, right? Okay. If you really want to be a Christian, I don't like titles. Okay. I deal with the word, right? So, yeah. But again, what are wrong? What is wrong? It just says things that are wrong. I don't know what's wrong. You see? And if you don't, you know what I'm saying? I guess if you don't know the commands, then I guess that could be what that's saying, right? So it says, in a wealthy home, these are dishes made of gold and silver, as well as some made of wood and clay. So again, this is making me think about, again, something else here, the fabric of society. Okay, the expensive dishes are used for guests, and the cheap ones are used in the kitchen or to put in the garbage. It can't buy me love. Money can't buy me love. Oh, wow. If you stay away from sin, you will be like one of those dishes, the purest. Okay, gold, the very best in the house, so that Christ himself can use you for his highest purposes. Run from anything that gives you the evil thoughts that young men often have, but stay close to anything that makes you want to do right. Have faith and love, and enjoy the companionship of those who love the Lord and have pure hearts. Okay, yeah. I guess, yeah, okay. Again, I say, don't get involved in foolish arguments which only upset people and make them angry. God's people must not be quarrelsome. They must be gentle, patient teachers of those who are wrong. Be humble when you are trying to teach those who are mixed up concerning the truth. For if you talk meekly and courteously to them, they are more likely, with God's help, to turn away from their wrong ideas and believe what is true. So this is giving me the energy of just like, like I said, I feel like a couple weeks ago, it just was that whole energy of like at the street level, but it just like, again, it's so damaged that it's just, when it comes to those of us that are kind of different, you see, right? Um, you always been the black sheep. You always been different and treated differently, and so, you know, they look at you like you think you too good, and you look at them like, I don't know why y'all look at me like that. But okay, then I will just, you know, keep to myself, I guess. I don't know. Okay, then they will come to their senses and escape from Satan's trap of slavery to sin, which he uses to catch them whenever he likes, and then they can begin doing the will of God. Okay, so again, that's what I'm saying. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, so I think that's just it. So, yeah, I hope you guys can even see me. It's a large glare here. Yeah, so I guess I better get up and do what I need to do. I kind of just got up and, like I said, sat for a second and came in here to do this video. And again, it really opened up my eyes. See, and that's what I'm saying. I can just, it's these words. Ah! So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like a whole, like, it's just something. And I've been feeling something down or whatever for the, like I had some, you know, like I said, because I was in pain or whatever, but, yeah. All right, y'all. Oh, look. Did we look at it slow and steady? That's like the energy, like, go ahead, get back up. You know you expect it every time. Get back up. Don't change this. Don't change your heart. Don't let them get away with that. You just gotta be able to put it back together. Didn't we say something about Humpty Dumpty last night? All right, guys. I hope you enjoy your day. Take care. Oh, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and join us in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained.